All right. Welcome, everyone. Hello. It's so good to see your smiling faces. My name is Andrea Stutt, and I am an Emerald with Plexus. And I am delighted to have y'all come on and hear our stories tonight. I'm just going to do a little bit of expectations, okay? So, you're going to be hearing three stories tonight: my story, Tracy's, and Jill's. We all come from very different backgrounds. And so, we hope that something that one of us says will resonate with where you are today and maybe help any of those like questions or hesitations you may be having. Hopefully, we'll answer those for you. Just to kind of give you a little heads up, we're going to be sharing these stories also to show you that there is a way, a very simple way for you guys to earn $300 this month to get ready for the holidays and all the extras that come during Christmas time. We also want to be able to show you that an online business is super doable and will fit into your lifestyle and your schedule. And also, if you're like any of us, you may think maybe you don't have the background or maybe you don't have the personality, and you're going to get to see like we're all very, very different. Okay, so, and also another expectation, just to make it a little bit fun, as whenever each one of us is speaking, we are going to ask you a question. And when you drop it in the comments, your answer, you will be entered into a little drawing for some kind of fun gift card tonight. So we'll be giving away 3 gift cards. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let Tracy get started. Tracy, take it away.
Awesome. Welcome, you guys. We're excited you're here tonight. So, I'm going to share a little bit of my story and a little bit about me. So, I am a mom of 3 boys. I live in the North Texas area. And if you know anything about the area, you may know that it is booming and it is very expensive to live here in the Dallas area. Um, this was kind of what drew me to Plexus in 2017. I was in a health crisis. I was 18 months postpartum, and my health was getting worse and worse by the day. I had gained 20 pounds over a 4 month period. And so you can see how, like, that's literally every single day, something new is just contributing to your lack of health. And I reached out to my friend in February of 2017 at a point where I knew I had to do something about what was happening in my body, because there was no road forward that looked like growing our family. We had one son at the time. There was no road forward that looked like me being the best version of myself. And so I started on Plexus. I was super skeptical. But I knew in the back of my mind that I had seen friends who'd been successful in network marketing. Now, I never thought that I could do that. And I had friends who were super successful in other businesses, skincare businesses, jewelry businesses, things like that, right? But that wasn't my passion. And so I had always just kind of written it off like, I'm not good at sales. I don't want to do that. But y'all, 2 weeks in, people started asking me what I was doing. And more than that, I knew what this opportunity looked like. And so I started to get curious and started to share a little bit of my story. Very quickly, I was able to cover the cost of my products. I think I made $500 that first month I started sharing Plexus with Purpose. And then I started to dream a little bit bigger. Well, like, okay, if I could make $500, I wonder if I could make a consistent like $1,000. Because you see, at the time, I was working for an ad agency. My background is as a graphic designer. I was working in an ad agency in Dallas. And the only way for me to make more money was to work more hours. So I was contract. I didn't get paid for postpartum. I didn't get paid when I was sick. I didn't get maternity leave. I just didn't get paid when I didn't work. And so the only way for me to make more money was for me to work more hours. And so I kept thinking, okay, if I can make this kind of fill in the gaps, because in that time, about 2017, is really when the inflation started hitting the Metroplex and things started costing more. Houses started costing more, right? All of those things. But I was getting paid the same. And I wasn't going to get paid more because I was getting paid good for my job. And so that's when we started to get curious. And I remember talking to my husband and just kind of presenting this to him like, I found this option. We've been praying for an option to bring in more income, and I found this. What do you think? and he had seen what the products were doing. He also had seen some of our friends be successful in other companies, but again, nothing that we could kind of buy into. And so I started sharing Plexus just very open-handedly, and thought if I can help another mom find freedom like I found, it's worth it. But y'all, it started growing. And so about 7 months into my journey with Plexus, I was making a consistent $1,000 a month. About a year into my journey, I was making a consistent $1,500, and I was able to cut my hours back at my design firm. There is nothing like having to put your child in a room while you're on a Zoom meeting so they don't cry, to get your booty in motion to find another option. And that was kind of the reality that I was in. I was taking Zoom calls from home, having to shut my son in his bedroom because I had to present to clients, and it was awful. And so I put my head down and I started sharing even more. I started sharing more boldly. I started, telling people what I was doing and talking to moms at playgrounds and things like that. And then I started inviting them to do it with me. And y'all, that's when everything really changed, when I started inviting people to share with me also. And everything just kind of started taking off. At this point, this income has probably 4 or 5 times what I ever made as a graphic designer. And I say that because this is scalable. We start to make an extra $500 a month, but it's something that's scalable, that as you work harder and grow, you can earn more. I was in a career where I would never make more per hour. I could only make more by working more hours. And now I'm in a career where I can develop other leaders. I can pour into other people. I can work hard and make more per hour, if you will. And so this business, this compensation plan has worked really, really well for our family. We've grown from a family of 3 to a family of 5. So I've had 2 kids along the way while I've been doing this, and I've still been able to grow a successful business. And I think that you can too. So I'm going to ask a question, okay? Because one of the things that really made me want to start sharing this was an unexpected expense. I got a tire blown and went to the tire shop and went to go get it fixed. And the guy was like, you actually need 4 new tires. And like, I can't in good faith let you leave here. Your tires are so bald. And so what we thought was going to be $150 expense turned into like an $800 expense right in that moment. And I called my husband and I was like almost in tears. And he said, hey, you made that last month. Go ahead, get 4 new tires. And so y'all, that is what this business has done for me. So I want you to drop in the chat for a chance to win a $10 Chick-fil-A gift card. Who doesn't love that? What is an unexpected expense that you've had pop up in the last month? Share in the chat. And then I am going to kick it. Who am I kicking it to, Andrea? Jill. Okay, I'm going to kick it to Jill and you can hear her story now.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So before I get started, you guys, I have a really dry throat, so I'm going to apologize if I'm cough and take a drink of water. But so my story is a little bit different. I am also in Texas, but I am in the Houston area. And I was a school administrator. I was 21 years in education, 14 in administration. I was busting it, to say the least. I was working 60 to 70 hours a week. I was working at a Title I campus with 12 to 1,300 children. And I loved my job. I loved it. And if you know any teachers, you know they love it. Like that it is part of who they are. But I also knew deep down inside that the stress and the pressure of that was slowly killing me. I was putting on weight. I was getting lots of health symptoms, reflux, anxiety. I wasn't sleeping at night, and on and on and on. And I noticed that my mood, I started being a lot more grumpy and negative. And the longer that went on, the harder it was for me to catch myself being negative. It was just the new normal. And so I started the products, and obviously they worked for me. And I started carrying my pink drink to meetings, because as an assistant principal, there is no lunch hour. There is no time off. You go from meeting to meeting to meeting. And people started asking me what that pink drink was. And so I would tell them, really didn't think much about it. I'm embarrassed to say it now. I actually had a couple of friends say, hey, I want to start that. And I said, oh, you know what? You should wait until I see results. Let me see. Little did I know I was already seeing results, but I had zero network marketing experience. And for me, I hesitated to share because I was so busy. My kids are very active in sports. And you guys, I would take an extra gym bag to work, not to go to the gym, but to change into my mom clothes in the bathroom before I got in the car and started carpool to travel baseball or to travel basketball. And I would get home around 9 or 9:30 at night, make dinner, and put my kids to bed if we didn't have homework. And so I just felt like I didn't have time for anything else. And God had a different idea. And so over time, I kept finding myself in these situations where someone would be talking about migraines or something that Plexus could help with, and I would not speak up. And I would get the most horrible stomach aches. And I would get back in the car and I would tell my husband, oh, I just had the worst stomach ache. And so he said, do you think maybe there's a correlation there? You only seem to get these stomach aches when you're telling me that, you were somewhere where people needed Plexus. And I think at one point he had heard it enough that he finally said, Jill, if you want those stomach aches to stop, maybe you should just tell them about Plexus. I never had another stomach ache, as crazy as that it sounds. So I started for that reason, actually, and just sort of, when it would come up, I would talk about it. This is what I'm doing. And then something really, really profound happened to me. My husband is also a educator, and my son is a very talented baseball player, and he would very dedicated. He would get up at 4:30 in the morning to do workouts on his own before school with practice after school. And he got the opportunity to play on a travel baseball team that is incredibly expensive, but also incredibly high level. And just the fees for this team was around $15,000 a year. That's not uniforms, that's not travel, that's not hotels for us. And I remember I had this giant, I was so excited that he made this team. And then I had this just pit in my stomach of, we can't afford that on 2 teacher salaries. And it was really the first time that I realized that my husband and I chose public service, but my children would pay for that. And it was not acceptable to me. I get emotional even now. Because I realized that opportunities come with price tags. And so I went to work and I decided that I was not going to tell him no. I went to work sharing Plexus, and every single day, I just needed to make the next payment each month. And so I started, my first check was $215, and it was enough to cover the first round of hats and uniforms. And so the next month was the month where, the big checks started coming in to pay those fees. And I remember very vividly telling myself, I can reach out to my friends about Plexus, or I can tell Catcher no. His name is Catcher. That's my son. Or I could tell Catcher no. And it was just so, that's crazy. That's him calling me right now. And so I went to work, y'all. And what I found was that my friends needed it as much as I did. And I was able to pay for travel baseball. We were able to take family vacations. I was able to be a yes mom. He was able to, go to the Junior College World Series. He was able to do all these amazing, area code things that are hundreds of dollars because we had that Plexus income. And over the course of time, I paid for travel baseball, and then I started paying for my own products, and then my husband started products, right? And then my son started products. And so we are able to cover products for 4 of us in our family. We covered travel baseball. We covered 2 years of college for my son, incredible vacations and things that we just were not able to do in education. And all the while, even as a jewel, I hit Emerald in 2 years. I continued to work for 4 additional years in a 70-hour-a-week job while also being a leader in Plexus. And y'all, I'm just going to tell you, it was doable. It was doable because I had two passions and I wanted to keep them both. And then COVID hit, and COVID was fine as an administrator, but after COVID, it was different. And I just decided I'm going to take a break. And let me just tell you, it was the most freeing thing ever to just walk in and say, I'm done. And to have them say, well, what about this or this? And all these accommodating things that they were going to do for me, that if I had just had my school salary, I would have been thrilled with. And it didn't matter one bit. I wanted to step away because I could. And that was just such a blessing for my family. So I now do Plexus full time. And my side gig is I get to mentor teachers at the community college who are getting their alternative certification. So I get to go into their classroom and mentor them and, show them best teaching practices. And it's my fun little side gig. And it's the best feeling ever to be able to live the life that I've always wanted to live, and also provide for my family, and also be the breadwinner, and also have other desires that fill my heart. And I'm able to do so many more of those things than I would have been able to do otherwise. So I think the most important thing for me when I'm sharing Plexus is understanding that your story doesn't have to look like mine. It doesn't have to look like Tracy's. It can be something very unique to you. And I just want you to know that that's possible, that there's not a job that has too many hours that you can't make this successful. There's not a dream in your heart that is too big that this opportunity can't provide for you. And so that to me was the biggest blessing income wise for our family. Yes, I love being a yes mom. I love being able to pay for college. I love all of those things, but really more than anything, having options was what I worked for. I didn't even know what those options were. If I had started Plexus thinking that, you wanted me to share Plexus because I could stay at home, I would have laughed at you. I would have been like, there is no way that I am quitting education. And many, many people were shocked because I'm super passionate about it. But I knew that my family needed options, and I knew that I wanted to adapt as our lives adapted, as my kids got older, as my husband and I, aged and we got further into our careers, and just all of those things that happen in life. I wanted options that I didn't have as a teacher. As depressing as it is, on your very first day as a teacher, you can look at your very last day, 35 years later, and see what you're going to make as a salary. And in 21 years, I never got a teacher raise that was more than $50 a paycheck, $50 every 2 weeks. And that was a pay raise. And that might've been, once every 5 years or so. So in short, I just want everyone to know that this can be whatever you want it to be. I started for my products being covered and to help some friends and to get rid of a stomach ache. And here I am in a whole different life, loving getting to help people feel their best. And if I had started with one thing in mind, I don't know that I would have stuck with it, but options was something I could stick with. So that's my story. And my question for you guys tonight is, if you had an additional $300 for the holidays this year, but you had to spend it on yourself only, every dime of it, what would you spend it on? And then I'm not sure, Andrea, do I pass it on?
Yeah, pass it to me and then I'll just kind of wrap it up.
Perfect. Back to you then, Andrea.
All right, awesome. All right, so I'll give y'all time to comment on her question. $300. Oh my goodness. I'm actually thinking about that right now. Okay, so I'm going to just wrap it up. Honestly, I could not have, they said so many wonderful things that I was thinking, and so I don't really have much to add, but I will say, $300 very doable, especially with all of the incentives we have right now. You get to give somebody $10 off of their initial order, and then in turn you get to earn $300 or more this month. So please do not hesitate to reach out to whoever invited you and ask them, how do I do it? And we will each walk you through it, step by step. I will tell you, it is simple and it is doable. So my name's Andrea. I'm a mama of 7 boys. I came to Plexus actually as a I have a career as a registered nurse, but I had switched gears and I had become a homeschooling mom. And basically, I came for the product. So I was 43. I was an old mom, what we call an old mom. I had just had my 7th baby and I was 43. I had some autoimmune issues going on, et cetera. I'd done a lot of research on the products and figured, you know what? I got to do something or else I do not know what I'm going to do. And a lot of moms are waving white flags postpartum. And I think you all know what I'm talking about, but this was pretty much the end of my rope. And so, um, I really just was like, I had never done network marketing. I wasn't interested in the business. Never sold a single thing. And honestly, I was that mom who I never even I would get up and hit the ground running and I didn't even brush my hair. My hair was in a top knot and I'd go to bed for days and finally brush my hair once a week. Okay. That's when we talk about not having time, that was me. Okay. So all that to say, my main goals when I started was I just want to enjoy my family again and I want to at least get my products paid for. Because at that time, we were that family where, we got one pizza night a week because, my goodness. And then sometimes we get a second night because I didn't have the energy to cook, but we never went out to eat or did anything like that, let alone I never paid for supplements or invested in my health at all at that point. We were a single income family. So I just wanted to get my products covered, but I quickly realized about 4 weeks in that I was not needing a nap and I was not waking up exhausted, ready to go back to bed, and I wasn't having a headache every day. So all I did, honestly, guys, was I just got on Facebook and talked about it. Just like we all do as moms, whenever something helps us, we share our life hacks, our clothes hacks, or, whatever we do, coupon hacks, whatever. I just got on and started talking about how I'd been bone tired, exhausted, and I wasn't feeling that way anymore. And I was incredibly surprised at how many women came out of the woodwork and messaged me, honestly. And they were like, that's me. That's me. What can I do to get started? So I realized my first paycheck, it was $400. Okay. And so that was significant to me because all I did was share something that helped me and I talked about it. And I thought, if I could do this from my home, homeschooling my 7 kids, having a baby and all the things, what else is possible with this income opportunity? And so I started to look at the compensation plan. I didn't know anything about compensation plans, but what I did learn is it was simple and they reward you generously for sharing. So your people that you talk to get a discount. You get a bonus, a thank you bonus from Plexus every time. And then, like Tracy said, when you start to encourage other moms to share if they choose to, then it just kind of just keeps multiplying. So it was really like not anything I'd ever thought about doing. And I think a lot of people come into this thinking, I could never sell anything. Well, guys, listen, when something helps you feel better, you naturally want to help other people feel better. And so it's such a blessing to help the people around you. So it's like you kind of just have to shift your thinking and think, yes, you are selling something, but you're selling something that could potentially change somebody's future. And so once I really got the my focus off of myself and onto other people, it was like the sky's the limit, honestly. And so all of us have reached one of the top levels of the company as busy moms. Okay, one was already working full time, one has small children and working. And the fact that we can earn 6-figure incomes and more from home and just continuing to build on that, it's an opportunity that I will continue to share because I think so many families right now, especially, need that extra financial margin, don't they? And people are looking for extra streams of income. So whether they just want to make 500 a month or 10 times that amount, right? They have that opportunity in this company. So that's why we share. And anyway, hopefully something we said resonated with y'all. So my question, one other thing I wanted to add was as the we have 7 children, and I think this speaks to other people. We never went on date nights, and we never went on a trip. We never went on a trip by ourselves. Since we've been in Plexus, we've earned like over 11 trips and it's crazy. I mean, we've earned like 4 luxury trips. I'm talking like to Hawaii and Mexico. Okay. So for us, it's actually been like a marriage therapy on steroids. Right. And so it's just been such a blessing. And I love to share that because, if you're like me, I never even traveled before Plexus. So it's been pretty amazing. Okay, so here is my question. Okay, so right here where we are here, and I'm in the Dallas, Texas area. It is cold and chilly and rainy, and all I want to do is go drink some decaf coffee. So I'm going to give away a $10 Starbucks gift card. To you guys are going to let me know when it's chilly, what is your favorite warm drink to sip on in the house or outside when you have to go somewhere in the car? I know some people are out and about tonight. What is your favorite warm drink to sip on? And you will be eligible for a Starbucks gift card. Oh, yeah, chai tea, latte. Yeah, coffee. Me too. Just a plain old coffee. All right, awesome. Thank y'all so much. Like I said, let us know if you have any questions. Please reach out to whoever invited you, and we will help you out. Thank y'all for giving us your time, and you guys have a blessed rest of your night. Bye.